It's got the scales of a serpent, the jaws of a crocodile, the claws of a lion, and the wings of a giant eagle. It protects mountains of gold in Europe and commands the weather over ancient China. It's the one monster you already know. But the real mystery isn't what the dragon is. The incredible part is why. Why did so many ancient cultures, separated by oceans and thousands of years, all dream up the exact same monster? This is far more than a coincidence. It's like finding the same phantom footprint on every continent on Earth, a clue to one of the deepest stories about the human mind itself. From the hero Beowulf to the Emperor of China, from the feathered gods of the Aztecs to the chaos serpents of Mesopotamia, the dragon is everywhere in our ancient stories. How is that possible? It's like imagine 5 people who have never met and don't speak the same language, all sitting down to write a song and somehow composing the exact same melody. For centuries, we've just chalked it up to fantasy. But what if it isn't just fantasy? What if the dragon is a kind of phantom echo, hardwired into the very architecture of our brains? The answer will take us on a wild journey from the fossil beds of the Gobi Desert to the most primal corners of our own evolutionary past. We're going to figure out why humanity was almost destined to invent the dragon, no matter where or when they lived. Welcome to Dumb It Down, where we cut the jargon, keep it snappy, and make big ideas simple. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button and ring the bell so our videos come to you fresh from the oven. A global monster, 1,000 different faces. Before we get into the why, you have to appreciate the sheer scale of the dragon's global influence. The basic idea, a powerful snake-like beast, is shockingly consistent. It's like a universal template. But its personality, that changes completely depending on where you are. In Europe, the dragon is the ultimate bad guy. It's a symbol of greed, chaos, and pure destruction. In the Old English epic Beowulf, the hero's final deadly fight is against a dragon guarding its treasure, representing a massive existential threat. Later on, Christian mythology turned the dragon into a stand-in for Satan himself, a monster for saints like Saint George to slay as proof that faith could conquer evil. The European dragon is a problem that exists to be solved, a monster whose defeat is necessary for the hero to prove his courage and restore order. But fly east, and the script gets a total rewrite. In China, the long isn't a monster you kill, it's a divine creature you revere. These long serpentine dragons are symbols of luck, power, and prosperity. They were tied to the life-giving power of rain and became the ultimate emblem of the emperor, a sign of his heavenly right to rule. The Chinese dragon isn't a force of chaos, it's a pillar of cosmic balance, celebrated in art and festivals, and the variations just keep coming. In Mesoamerica, the Aztecs worshipped Quetzalcoatl, a stunning feathered serpent. He wasn't a terrifying beast, but a creator god who brought knowledge, farming, and civilization. In ancient Mesopotamia, the dragon goddess Tiamat was the symbol of the primordial chaotic sea before the world was made. And in Australia, the rainbow serpent of indigenous Dreamtime stories is a creator being that carved out the world's rivers and mountains. So, we're left with this puzzle. The blueprint is universal, but the role it plays is totally local. A villain, a god, a creator, a destroyer. It's the same fundamental creature, just seen through 1,000 different cultural lenses. This incredible diversity, all coming from one shared concept, is what makes us ask that huge question. Where did the blueprint even come from? Unearthing the dragon's lair. The theories. For years, thinkers have been wrestling with this mystery, and their explanations are almost as epic as the dragon itself. They basically fall into 3 big categories. First up is the most straightforward idea. Dragons are just misunderstood history. Let's call it the fossil Fumbles hypothesis. Picture it. You're an ancient farmer digging in your field. You hit something hard. It's a set of massive bones, a skull the size of a boulder, with teeth like daggers. You don't know what a dinosaur is. That word won't exist for another 2,000 years. It's like finding a single giant puzzle piece and trying to imagine the whole creature without the picture on the box to guide you. What would you think, other than this belonged to a monster? This isn't just a guess. We have proof. Long before dinosaur was a word, traditional Chinese medicine used dragon bones to treat illnesses, which were actually fossils. Back in the 4th century BC, a Chinese historian named Chong Ku even wrote about finding them. The same thing happened in Europe. The famous Lindworm dragon fountain in Austria was modeled on a real skull the town kept for centuries. It was later identified as the fossil of a woolly rhinoceros. Historian Adrian Mayer argues that ancient people were the world's first paleontologists. They just interpreted their finds through myth instead of science. But fossils don't explain everything. What about breathing fire or controlling storms? That brings us to theory number 2. Dragons are nature's fury brought to life. This is the geo-mythology hypothesis. Geo-mythology is the idea that ancient myths were actually clever ways to record and explain terrifying geological events. Think of these stories as humanity's first emergency broadcast system. Instead of a blaring siren, you get a story about a raging monster, a way to package life-saving information, like don't build your village near the angry mountain god, into a tale nobody would ever forget. When a volcano erupts, spitting fire and smoke, it looks just like a fire-breathing dragon. The myth of the chimera in Turkey is thought to be inspired by natural gas vents that have been burning for millennia. An earthquake could be a giant serpent moving deep within the earth. These stories were like the first science, an attempt to build a narrative around natural disasters that were otherwise completely incomprehensible. Fossils and geology explain the body and the powers, but they still don't explain why it's everywhere. Why did cultures with no volcanoes or easy-to-find fossils also have dragons? This leads us to the wildest theory of all. We didn't find the dragon in the ground. We found it inside our own heads. This is the hardwired brain hypothesis. In his book, An Instinct for Dragons, anthropologist David E. Jones proposed a revolutionary idea. Imagine your brain is a security system that's been fine-tuned over millions of years. It's been programmed to instantly recognize our 3 biggest ancestral threats: big snakes on the ground, giant birds of prey from the sky, and stealthy big cats from the bush. Jones argued that the dragon is what happens when a power surge trips all those alarms at once. It's a neurological cocktail of our primal fears, a super predator stitched together from the scaly body of a snake, the sharp talons of an eagle, and the powerful jaws of a leopard. It's an enemy hardwired not into our culture, but into our DNA. It didn't have to be seen. It was an instinct, waiting in the dark corners of our collective mind. So, what's the real story behind the dragon? The truth probably isn't one single answer, but a powerful mix of all 3. It's like an ancient recipe. The discovery of giant fossils provided the flour, the basic physical substance of a monster. Witnessing volcanoes and floods provided the heat, the explosive elemental powers. But our hardwired brain provided the yeast, that invisible, ancient ingredient that made the whole thing rise into the universal monster we were all destined to imagine. The outside world provided the bones, and our inner world provided the blueprint. The story of the dragon is more than just a cool myth. It's a mirror reflecting our shared human experience. It reflects our struggle to make sense of a world that was often terrifying and mysterious. It reflects our relationship with nature. And most of all, it reflects the deep, primal fears that connect every single one of us. The dragon shows us that no matter where we're from or what we believe, we've all stared into the darkness and imagined the same monster looking back. So what do you think? Where did dragons really come from? Was it dinosaur bones, the power of nature, or a phantom hiding in our own minds? Drop your theory in the comments below. And if you love digging into the great mysteries of history and the human brain, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. In the end, the dragon might just be the most successful monster of all time. It has survived for thousands of years, not in some mythical mountain, but in the most fertile place there is, the human imagination. And it proves that sometimes the most incredible monsters aren't the ones that are real, but the ones we were all born to create.